Again, this should be pretty simple, straightforward. Our first question is going to come from Alex Bozich.
Kenya, I'm just curious, kind of with the transfer portal, the rise of, I guess, to prominence this spring. How do you think that changes recruiting on a year-to-year basis? And there's been, I guess, some things written and talked about nationally about how it may change the recruitment of high school kids.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any insight on that?
Yeah, I think it's changed tremendously just because of the fact that each year, there's a number of guys that are going to be in that portal. Like the number is well over 2,000 kids in the portal. You could literally build a team off of that. But I think the most important thing that's going to be evident as we move forward is the most important people are the guys on your team, the players on your team, and continue to recruit them just as well as recruiting the underclass guys. But, I also think that, if you do your due diligence as far as your homework on some of the high school kids that are coming out, because they're going to be still talented kids coming out of high school, and you build a relationship with them, I think you need to mix some of the young guys in with guys that are going to be in the transfer portal each year moving forward.
Thank you.
Next question, Caleb.
Coach, being one of the coaches on the transition team between Archie and Coach Woodson, just what was it like keeping that with the uncertainty between coaches and helping guys as they try to figure out if they want to stay or transfer?
Yeah, it was a difficult time. Obviously, it's the first time that it's happened to me where I was a part of the transition team, but I was happy to do it because I know it's a difficult time for everyone. But I think the biggest thing is what we've always done, be there and support the kids on their decision. And, when it took a little bit longer and guys started entering the transfer portal, all you can do is talk to them and their parents and support them. So it was a difficult time, but also it was a time where I felt like, once they did hire, Coach Woodson, we didn't know that at the time, but once that all happened, then we could figure out, and he's done a heck of a job of getting those guys, back into the mix of being here in Indiana.
Jim Coyle.
Coach, you talked about the portal and using that as a recruiting tool. How is that affecting as far as player development and the portal? How do you run that balance of developing your own players like you talked about and using the portal?
Coming in with a new staff, obviously coaches using the skill instruction or our player development, seeing what the guys are able to do. And so basically by watching and working guys out and seeing some of their strengths and weaknesses, I think you also see what your team needs as well. And I think one of the biggest things we all know, shooting is evident that we needed help in. So, recruiting the next guy, from the portal is going to be a premium on guys that can make shots and has done that. That's the biggest thing that, going into this season that we really had to address.
Next question, Tyler.
Yeah, Coach, just being at Indiana last year, being your first year here, what was kind of the main factors in when you were offered the position to stay again this year? What was kind of the main factors in deciding to stay?
Well, first thing, I was in constant communication with Scott Dolson, the AD, who wanted, asked me to wait and see who he hires before making my decision. And so I was excited about that. Didn't know if it was going to work out, but, excited that he wanted me to stay here. And so my decision, once I was able to meet with Coach Woodson for a couple of days and then him offer me the job, it was a no-brainer. I've moved my family here in August. So I really wanted to stay. And after meeting Coach Woodson for the couple days that I did, it was evident this is a good guy, and I would love to, help him in his transition, coming from the NBA. So, he's put together a really good staff, I think. So,
Dustin.
Ken, just to kind of keep playing off of that, I mean, what were the whole sort of mix of emotions like from the time that Archie gets fired? And I imagine at that point you're wondering what is next for you. I guess how soon in the process does Scott ask you to stand and tell you that you're going to have a chance to be a part of the next staff? Did you sort of approach that day to day? And again, just what was the whole range of emotion from that entire period until Coach Woodson was hired?
Yeah, my biggest thing was to sit still and let things happen. I know it was a reason for me coming to Indiana in a short period of time, moving, in August, coming here in August. That was a situation where normally an assistant coach doesn't move at that time. So I think everything happens for a reason. And, I'm here, I feel like, for a reason. And I think, the work that I've done in the amount of time that I've been here, I think the relationships that I've built with our players and the staff people around, I think that was one of the biggest things that, I felt like this is a great place. And, by Scott wanting me to hang around until he hired someone, that gave me confidence as well. And, did I have to, day by day, try to make sure if things didn't work out here, put myself in position to have other opportunities? Yes, I did that. But at the same time, I wanted to wait patiently and see what developed here.
Jeff Rabjohns.
Morning, Coach. How are you?
Good morning, Jeff.
Hey, I got two questions for you. First of all, I watched some film, but I'd like your take. How would you describe Xavier Johnson's game, and what do you feel his impact could be at Indiana this coming season?
Well, I feel like what he brings to the table is something that we missed a little bit last year, and obviously the talent level as far as he has a gift, especially in transition, to create not only for himself but for others. I think he's a guard, first step wise, that can get feet in the paint. He's continuing to get better with his 3-point shot. There's still a lot of work to be done there, but I think that he helps everyone around him be better, to be quite honest. And I think he could hopefully find easier baskets for some of our guys to put them in position to be successful. And then defensively, I think he can dominate the ball as far as guarding the ball. And I think that's how Coach Woodson wants to play, moving forward. So I think, as far as him, and I think he also can have the leadership factor as well. Some guys, what they play, develops that leadership role. But him being an older guy, being a junior in college, going into his last year, it's like, he has an opportunity to come in through his work and his preparation, hopefully, galvanize the team as far as the leadership. I think we need that on this team, to be quite honest. And I think he can bring that to the table.
And then second question was, how's Parker Stewart looking? And obviously he's known for his shooting. Kind of what are you looking for him to develop and become as we head toward November?
I think one of those guys, especially how Coach Woodson wants to play in transition, where, he can run the floor hard and, spot up for threes. But, the thing that excited me, I was gone the last couple of days, but Coach Mata came up to me and says, "You got Parker." He had 20 for 21 from three. And, we celebrated that, and so it's a situation where he's known for being a really good shooter. I think, now it's like, okay, you've done it in practice and hopefully, that translates into games for us. But being a guy that, he's an older guy as well, which I like. But being a guy that can knock down shots and also on the defensive end, guard 1, 2, and 3 positions. So we're excited about him. And, from the spring so far, he's been able to do what we know we need, and that's knock down shots. So excited
Perfect.
about that.
Thanks, man.
Yep.
Rick Bozich.
Coach, you said you had a couple days with Coach Woodson before you made your decision to stay. What did you learn about him? How did you connect with him that convinced you that you guys could work together and it would be a good partnership?
First off is just his presence. I think when you talk to him, you're talking to someone who's real, and I think the knowledge that he has of the game and some of the things he wants to implement from the NBA style to college excites me, and I'm excited about that. And him being an Indiana graduate, his blood, sweat, and tears were shed here, and I just think that he's going to put a lot of effort, time into making this a program that everyone can be excited about. And I would love, I wanted to have the chance to be a part of that. So just from that conversation, I just felt excited about the opportunity that he was going to allow me here. So that was kind of our conversation. And every day that, I've been in the office and, we've thrown ideas back and forth. I just think, the more we continue to learn each other, I think this is going to be a heck of a situation. And now with implementing everyone, our whole staff is pretty much here and set. Every day it's like getting to know each other, and it's been exciting and fun.
Mike Schumann.
Yeah. Hi, Coach. How's it going?
How you doing, Mike?
Doing good. Hey, a recruiting question for you.
Mhm.
You were recruiting Xavier both before and after the coaching change, as well as a bunch of high school kids. I'm curious what the reaction has been specifically from Xavier, since you can talk about him and his reaction to Coach Woodson. And then in general terms with the high school kids, not naming names, kind of what have you been hearing in terms of what they think about, an NBA guy and Coach Woodson?
Well, it was kind of Xavier's situation. Obviously I recruited him out of high school. And when I left and went to UConn and he decided to go to Pittsburgh, one of the things I tell parents and kids all the time is just like my relationship that I build during the time that I'm recruiting you. I'm always going to follow you and support you. And he made a decision to go to Pittsburgh and was having an unbelievable career. But I've always been a person that always stay in contact with certain people. And his dad and I hit it off from day one. So it was one of those situations where I got to know the family really well. And when he decided to leave, obviously I wanted to be one of those guys that could, try to get him here to Indiana. So that initially started. And I think that's, when you in the decision of making a decision to go to another school, I think the biggest thing, especially in what we are right now, you're not able to visit. I think the relationship part means a lot. And because I've had, the previous relationship with his family, I think that, helped us a lot to get the kid. And so that's what happened with Xavier. And then, just some of the guys that, moving forward as far as in the 22 class that we've been in contact with, already, I think just getting Coach Woodson, up to speed of who the guys are that we were recruiting in the 22 class, and now trying to build that relationship with him. But we've made some good ground in that 22 class of building relationships with guys. And, now it's time for Coach Woodson to do the same. So just getting them up to speed on some of the guys and, the needs of our team as well. That could change. So some of the guys that we were recruiting early in that 22 class, he may feel like we need a different need. So we, as we move forward and continue to get to know our team and what our needs are, we'll adjust in that 22 class.
And have you heard much from those guys in terms of what they think about, Coach Woodson's resume being an NBA guy?
Yeah, I think most of the guys that I've talked to are excited about it. But, everyone's unsure of, the style of play. How is he going to, acclimate, just get adjusted to the college game and style. And I think, sometimes it takes that 1 year for people to see what the product is and then, make the decisions from there. So we got to try to, bring that to the table with a lot of video with how he wants to play and the style that he wants to implement here. And then once that happens, hopefully because of the relationships we build with these kids, we're able to get some of the guys.
Kevin.
Yeah, Coach. Given your relationship with Parker and his family, I'm curious where he is emotionally right now also. And I don't know how much that maybe played a factor into him not playing this past semester, or just where his mindset do you think is?
I think it's day by day, to be quite honest. I think, he's going to have his good days and bad days. I think the reason why he came here is that when he does have those bad days, that people are in his corner and support and understand, his situation. And I think that his adjustment, I know from talking to his mom, that, she's very excited about him being here and how she feels like he's, adjusted pretty well. So, it's going to be a daily thing. I mean, anytime you lose a parent, that's I've had to go through it this past season myself. So I understand it. You're going to have your good days and bad days, but, it's the people that are here with you, supporting you, that means the most. And that's what we've done. And all of us have been very supportive of him.
Aiden.
Yeah, hi, Coach. It seemed like last year the offense was fairly set base, a lot of action trying to get guys going downhill. What can you tell us about what Coach Woodson sees schematically for the offense, what we can expect to look different, and just kind of what his vision is without even him playing the game yet, obviously?
Yeah, I think the vision of it is, he wants to play more 4 out, 1 in, and different guys bringing the ball up the floor as well. I mean, we want to play fast early in transition, but obviously, utilize guys to their strengths, with Trace, moving them around a little bit more. And then with different guys, the conditioning element, I know he wants to be better. He wants to be a team that on both ends of the floor, that we're playing at a pace, that people are excited about. And defensively, that's where it's going to start, but also offensively playing at a pace where guys are moving and sharing the ball as well. It's not one of those things you just come down and jack up a shot because you want to play faster. It's about taking advantage of, driving opportunities, getting paint, but if it's 2 on you, spray the ball and get a good shot. So just an unselfish kind of style of play offensively, but also at a pace where, if you're open, he wants you to feel free to shoot it when you're open.
Last question, John Blau.
Just wanted to follow up on Parker. Obviously, you have a pretty good relationship with him. So during the process with Coach Woodson, how much were you talking to him and trying to talk through kind of the decision, or you give him space so you can kind of just get to know Coach Woodson, obviously, because he's a new person? And I mean, how happy were you when he inevitably decides to stay, given everything he's been through the past?
It was, just so you guys know, it wasn't just Parker, man. It was everybody. I mean, all these guys. I mean, Coach has done an unbelievable job. For Trace to come back and not even put his name into the portal is a hell of a thing. That speaks volumes of Coach Woodson. And most of the guys that, you know, return or raced, we were talking to them and their parents every single day, and that has to continue because, you know, they have to continue to get to know coach, but building that relationship and showing that, you know, that's what it's about. And yeah, we lost a couple guys, but we feel like the majority of the guys that we got back, we can continue to build a team that, you know, Indiana fans will be proud of.
Coach, again, thank you for your time, and media folks, we will get with you maybe for something next week. All right. Take care, guys.